What's up, everybody?
We're back. The pizza and the bagel.
Pizza and the bagel time.
What's up, buddy?
Everybody's favorite Monday morning delight.
Fuck yeah.
I know some of you may have noticed we didn't have a couple episodes. The bagel and I had a few things going on. We got a little busy.
Yep.
We do apologize for that.
It shan't happen. Well, it might happen again, but we'll do our best to not let it happen again.
And I've come up with a few ideas too that I think that something we can have to hold them over, at least if that does stir up again.
Absolutely.
But overall,
because we appreciate you, loyal listeners, and we don't want to piss you off and have weeks where you're missing us.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially
the Heartgrow Founder, but you need your fucking pizza and your bagel.
You sure
on
fucking do.
Let's get you through the week.
And also we've been. I don't know if I told you, but we're in 9 different countries now.
That's fucking incredible and ridiculous.
We just got somebody from Finland.
Finland.
We got a listener in Finland.
A finisher.
Yeah,
I love it.
You do love a good finisher.
I do. I appreciate a strong finisher. You can be slow on the start, but be a strong finisher.
Right. So yeah, we're in 9 countries, and I think we're in like 93 different cities.
That's silly.
So, and that's between. I mean, majority of it obviously is our local area,
well it should be.
But we're really spreading.
We're prestige worldwide, baby.
Yeah,
we're taking over. I told you the other day when you told me that when we had hit 90 cities, I was like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice right now. I'm doing the fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah.
Fuck this nerd actual job I have. Let's get rich just doing pizza bagel shit.
Right. Fuck yeah.
That is the dream.
So speaking of more good news, our fellow listeners.
Yeah, we have big news.
We do. We now have a pizza bagel hotline.
The hotline is up, people.
It is. And you guys can fucking text us anytime you want.
Yes. Late, drunk.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. We'll talk about it. You want a shout out? You got something really funny? You could be anonymous.
Absolutely. You can.
Know?
Or you can just be like, hey, I want a shout out for my buddy's birthday. Or text us and tell us what you think about us, or an idea for the show, or whatever.
Yeah, shit for us to talk about.
Absolutely.
And if you have those birthday wishes for your friend or other, it's free.
For now.
It's not like for now.
Yeah, until we get on Cameo.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Yeah.
So you guys could be paying like $100 to have, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bob Seger do a happy birthday to you.
That'd be pretty dope.
But it's free from the pizza and the bagel.
For now it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
For now.
Pending.
Yeah. So, guys, our number is, if you're on Spotify, listeners to Spotify, the number is posted up right next to the photo. But the phone number is 440-363-0121.
Easy peasy.
So, give us a text anytime.
Yeah. So let's give them something. Let's give them something to text about. All right. So we were out the other night, myself and you, some other friends, and our very dear friend Dan was there along with us. And this was something I thought would be a fun inaugural way to use the polling capabilities of this phone number. So please text us in response and let us know what you think. But this is not the first time, but the most recent time, and it was just a couple days ago. Dan was sitting next to me. We were in bar stools next to each other. And he was like, dude, are you wearing cologne? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, every time you've ever seen me, I've been wearing cologne. And he was like, I don't understand you.
You do always smell delicious.
Thank you. I have exquisite taste in cologne. Very expensive and very excellent taste in cologne. I have like day colognes. I have night colognes. I do it well. But he was saying, he wears it for like special occasions. He's like, yeah, I wear it like when we go to a wedding, or like if we're going on like a big date or something like that. But we were sitting at the fucking Richland.
Yeah.
And he's like, why are you wearing cologne? It's not like you're here trying to get pussy. And I'm like, well, you're correct. One, I'm married. I'm never getting pussy again. 2, there's not going to be any pussy here at the Richland. So it's not like.
Also true.
But yeah, I mean, even if like I told him, if I'm at home and I'm working at home for the day, I get out of the shower, I spritz on some delicious cologne. I just like smelling good.
And I think we talked last week with the sociopath episode,
right?
That your routine, your bathroom routine.
Yep.
So you have the cologne in there with you, right?
You know what's funny? I was when I took a shower. I went downstairs today when I was getting ready to come over here, and then I was like, "Fuck! I think I forgot my sweatshirt in the bathroom," because I walked in there wearing a sweatshirt, and jeans, and I just walked out wearing jeans, and it was nice and toasty in the house because we put the heat on, and I just forgot my sweatshirt in there because I go in there fully dressed and typically come out fully dressed.
Right.
But like a bumbling dum-dum, left my sweatshirt, so I had to go back up the goddamn stairs. But anyway, the polling question, people, is it weird for a dude to wear cologne if he's not trying to score puss?
Or the special occasion.
Or a special occasion.
Just
well, let's be
anytime.
honest. If Dan's wearing cologne on a special occasion, he's trying to get puss from his wife.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
I just like smelling good.
He's not wearing it for himself.
Yeah, and he made me feel like really awkward about it. Like kind of like a douche. Or like it was somehow homosexual that I was wearing cologne.
He can't even grow facial hair,
I know.
So
yeah,
you shouldn't feel
really,
like
he was
that.
also wearing an Adidas tracksuit, okay? We have a lot, and he basically came up there for 2 shots of Fireball, got a gyro, and gave us the finger as he was leaving in his Uber. So,
yeah.
You know, we have lots of things to talk about with that as well, but that's a whole different episode.
I forgot he had the entire, like,
oh my God,
Italian fucking black Adidas jumpsuit.
Yeah.
The shirt and the pants.
If he had pulled a bag of gabagool out of his pocket, it would have been the only way to make him look more like a deli owner than when he showed up at the bar. And he's giving me shit about smelling good.
Yeah.
So Tony's going to give you the number one more time. It is up on Spotify, but give us a text. Let us know. What do you think? Is it weird that I wear cologne right now to record this podcast? We're going out to watch the Browns game after this. There's not going to... The only pussy we're going to see at O'Donnell's is going to be Dan.
Is Dan.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, like, it's not really for that purpose, but let us know what you think. Give us a text or, for whatever reason, shout-outs to let us know what you think about the show. Phone number is
440-363-0121.
There you go.
And you know I mentioned it on Spotify, but it actually might be visible on the other apps too, because we're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. I just don't usually
over.
Yeah, I don't usually check those as often. So, guys, also we are looking to do video soon as well, and we'll be on like YouTube, TikTok, etc. So that's coming in the near future as well.
So get excited.
Baby steps.
Baby steps is right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know, like I said, he was kind of making me feel, you know, and not in a bad way. When I say queer, I mean odd. I don't mean like gay. Like, you know, into homosexual tendencies. I just mean odd. He made me feel odd about what I was doing. But we were talking about this funny story in the news, speaking of stuff that is incredibly, well, sexual, not all homosexual, but lots of kinds of sexual things, which is what's going on in the villages in Florida.
Yeah. So I think everybody is familiar with I think it's called the Villages.
It is.
That it? Mm-hmm. So, and if you're not familiar, this is the nursing home area.
Yeah, it's an old person's community.
Yeah, that's a better word for it. Where it's basically just having orgies and swingers and what have you. And these people are in their like 70s, 80s, or whatever, somewhere in that age range, and giving each other different STDs, I imagine.
That's been a story for like decades. That's a huge issue in those retirement communities, is that like everybody gets STDs.
Yeah.
Because they're all like, dude, I'm 70. I'm not putting on a fucking rubber.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about this too, though, I mean, like, they're 70, 80. They're like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if everyone's already got it, it's like we're all banging each other. So what's the big deal? Like,
right. You don't want to be
dead in a week, you know, like,
and you don't want to be the loser. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that guy doesn't even have crabs.
Yeah.
Like, he can't get any pussy. If he did, he'd have crabs.
Right.
You don't want to be left out. That'd be a horrible way to end your life.
Oh, yeah.
Being the one person in the retirement community who's not getting great puss.
You know what? I got to say, though, I fucking love this.
What's that?
I think it's awesome.
Oh, me too.
That they're fucking doing this.
Absolutely.
Like, if they're like, oh, we're going to go down to Florida. We're snowbirds. This is what grandma and grandpa are telling you, right?
Yeah.
And then they go down to Florida. Then they go out.
It's all golf.
Yeah.
But they're just plowing.
Yeah, you just think that they're just hanging out at the beach and golfing.
Right.
Enjoying the rays.
Playing bingo at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Dinner at 3:30 p.m.
No, they are fucking stuffing each other.
All the time.
Yeah.
Man on man, multiple partners at the same time. Like, yeah, it's wild.
And so, I mean, think about this, too. Like, if you're like, all right, kids, we're going to go down and see grandma and grandpa for the weekend.
Yeah.
And then you find out about it, right? And then you're like, oh, she's touching my kids, you know, and you think it's just all like the kids are like, oh, it's so awesome to see grandma.
Right.
But she just got like 15 loads dumped in her last night, you know, like
gross.
Yeah. So,
or God forbid you show up a day early and you're like, oh, it sounds like grandma's in there making pudding. Like, that's not what's happening. She's got them guts stirred up.
Yeah. That's what good pussy sounds like.
That's right.
So, and as far as everybody knows, like the upside down pineapple is like the
signal,
right? Like, hey, I'm a swinger, we're swingers,
right?
Let's swing. The old folks at the villages have started their own thing, and I did hear that they were originally trying to do different colored shoes, kind of letting people know, but now they're using loofahs,
which is crazy,
right? And so like loofah, right, guys, like that little spongy
thing that
circle
you're supposed to wash your body with,
right? That people usually have hanging in their shower,
right?
So they now have different colors that they put on their car to let other swingers know what their status is, I guess, if you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever they're
kink.
into.
So,
originally, the idea of the loofahs, anyway, was that all of these older people typically drive similar vehicles. I'm in Florida for like 70 or 80-year-olds. I assume they're like mid-2000s Cadillacs.
Sure.
Right? Like big old boats they're driving around.
Sounds about right.
And they were putting these loofahs on their vehicles because they couldn't remember which car was theirs. So they were getting out to the parking lot and they're like, I don't know which of these Cadillacs is mine, and having to fumble around with it. So like, I'll just stick a purple loofah on there, like on the antenna, and then I'll be able to pick out the purple loofah.
And know that's my car.
And know it's my car. But now it has changed into this sex signal for what you're into. So like, what does purple mean?
Let's see. Here, I'll go down the list for you.
Yeah.
So if you have white, novice, beginner status, so you're just
I'm willing, but I haven't really tried yet.
Yeah, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
Talk me up. The purple is voyeur.
Okay.
So you want to
like to watch.
Yeah. So you can just sit back and jerk off while
well,
like people are banging.
Real quick though, with the voyeur one, that's interesting because you would kind of think a lot of the joy of being a voyeur comes from people not knowing that that's what you're doing. Like,
so like they like left a window open.
Yeah.
Like I'm finger quoting here, so then they can walk around the side of the house and just watch.
Yeah.
From the window. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like I don't.
You're right.
I think if you're like a peeping Tom, you wouldn't want to have a sign up that's like, I'll be looking in your window later.
Yeah.
Enjoy your dinner. I'll be watching. You know what I mean? Like, that's super creepy. And I would think part of the fun of being a voyeur is like the sneaking around and knowing you're doing something that they don't know that you're watching. So it's strange to me that they're putting up a sign that says, I am a voyeur, but I'm not a 80-year-old Floridian.
Well, here's the thing too. I mean, they could probably, I'm sure there's something negotiated. Like, listen, sometime tonight we're going to be banging.
Yeah.
And again, finger quotes, like, forget to leave or forget to close the window.
Sure.
So that
Neighbor
way you
on
show
one
up.
side has a purple loofah, and all of a sudden your, grandma's tits are bumping into the window on that side of the house,
right,
while she's taking it from behind.
Yeah, because you could also be the neighbor, so you're like got your binoculars and just kind of watching through the windows and
that's
jerking off over there. I guess I don't know.
That's awesome.
So you're right. I mean, that's a good point because I was kind of thinking it as more of like a cuck.
Yeah.
Just sitting in the corner and watching them have sex, and then going from there. So then let's see. The next one is pink. This says it's a soft swap. So this is for people who like to do it with others in the room.
Okay.
So again, probably a little bit of watching, or just maybe casual. Like maybe like you and I just could be sitting here bullshitting, and then there's just a couple that's just kind of banging it out in the.
I'd be okay with
the side room. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's kind of like live porn.
Yeah.
And like we're just hanging out bullshitting.
Yeah,
having
we
a
wouldn't be
cigarette,
sitting
but,
here like jerking off or anything.
No, yeah. It's
but
just
if like there were two people fucking right there, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. So
it might be a little distracting. And it would also sound like we're getting like one round of applause the whole time.
Right.
That would be kind of motivational.
Well, you know what we could do is we could do a live pizza bagel show, and then we can be in a room with other couple like just having sex.
Yeah. My wife would definitely approve of that.
Yeah. Yeah, Jess would
yeah. I'll just go ahead and pass that by the old ball. And hey, I know this isn't sexual or anything, but the next time we record Pizza Bagel, I'm gonna watch somebody get plowed.
Yeah, we'll just have a pink loofah hanging from the table.
Smart. Maybe you will. I don't know what loofah I want yet. We've only gone through a couple.
Okay, you're right. So let's move on.
I don't want to settle just yet.
All right. So next is blue. So this is the lowest level of a full swap. This says this is for those who can play well with others.
Okay.
So I think that's just hey,
couple sharing.
Yeah, we just like a wife swap kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then kind of go from there.
Yeah. All
right, pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
The yellow. Now, this is a mid-level swap. This is for those who want to have fun but are still nervous. So you think that's like the next level up from the white?
No, but I don't know. I mean, maybe the...
But it says mid-level swap.
Right, which does sound strange. Maybe part of it is like them pretending to be nervous. Like maybe they're just
I've never
my
done
sensibilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm too old for, or I'm not old enough to watch that. Oh my God.
So kind of role-playing-ish?
Yeah, kind of.
Playing like this like nervous Nelly.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, it's fine. Let me just come on over. We'll have a good time.
Or the other people that are fucking are like, shut up, Doris. And she's like, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a little bit confusing. Mid-level swap, but for those who want to have fun but are still nervous.
We're gonna have to figure out how to get some pizza bagel stickers into the villages so that we can have some old people call in and let us know what these things mean.
Fucking A.
Yeah, there's a fucking way. We're paying like an orderly. I'm gonna make this happen. Like this is gonna be my mission.
Oh, I can't wait.
This is gonna be to get some stickers to like an orderly at the villages to start posting that shit around, and then of course teach those old people what QR codes are, because otherwise they're just gonna be going to whoever runs that place like, where are my goddamn pizza bagels?
Yes, I do like pizza bagels.
I see all these stickers all the fucking time, but I haven't seen one pizza bagel.
Where in Florida is the villages?
I don't know. I think it's around Orlando. I know it's in northern Florida.
Okay. See, that would be probably kind of perfect. I have a buddy that lives in or around that area. Mm-hmm. I forget what the name of the town is. I feel like it's a goofy name, but maybe I can mail him some stickers and he can just swing by and like drop them off.
Yeah, it's north. It's a little bit north of Orlando, south of Gainesville. So it's like between like Tampa and St. Augustine. So it's North Florida.
Okay.
Right in the center.
Okay.
Shockingly, right by Disney. Of course.
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have your orgy the night before, then you take your grandchildren to Disneyland.
Right. Oh my God, people are gonna be hanging their loofah off their Mickey ears. So gross.
All right. So next up on is black. This is a full swap. So those who say, what the hell, let it go down. So they're just like, fuck it. I'm down for fucking anything. Let's go.
Now, is the black loofah significantly larger than the white loofah?
It's kind of hard to tell from this photo, but I would just assume so.
Yeah, naturally. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay, so the black is just, I'm fucking down, dude.
Yeah.
I want a voyeur, I want a wife swap,
whatever.
I'm gonna pee on you.
Yep. Come one, come all.
Yeah.
As they say.
And then it looks like the last one that's on here is teal. So teal is it's bisexual, and for those that want to increase their dating chances,
sure,
the more the merrier, I suppose.
I mean, that it really at its base, that's what being bisexual does, right? It makes you available to the entire populace.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, that's maximizing your chances for sure. Wow. You know, it's amazing. That's great. One thing I always find endearing about older people is that they don't have to give a fuck about anything anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great to me that they can just literally take their sexual kink and hang it off of a part of their car. Because people that are like our age would be terrified to have their kink out there on their just drive around and be like, hey, sometimes I like to get pegged. And just drive around like with their fucking whatever called brown or whatever that color would be for their loofah. And then people would be like, you like to get pegged? Like, nice loofah. You know, I mean, I would be terrified for people to know whatever kind of depraved shit I'm into.
Well, I mean, I think that's the beauty of it. You can pick and choose. I mean, who knows? They might even... They have a whole collection of these loofahs, and then they choose on which one they want to hang out for the car of the day.
Yeah,
if they're like, I just really want to like watch somebody, they can hang the purple one up. Yeah,
today I just feel like watching.
Yeah, and then when someone notices and it's like, hey, I noticed your purple loofah.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're doing anything later.
And they're like, God damn it, I meant to change that out for a fucking teal one.
Yeah.
I wanted some man on man today.
Yeah,
Fine,
exactly.
But I'll watch.
Yeah, I didn't really have anything planned anyway, so. We'll just do teal tomorrow.
Right. I'm going to go pull out my planner and write down to change out my loofah.
For Teal Tuesdays.
Right. There should be one that's like tie-dye that's just, you know, like pansexual bizarre. Like surprise me.
Yeah.
like whatever's clever.
So it's kind of like which one did we say was the Oh, it's the black one that's like, fucking, I'm down for anything. So it's like the
goes.
same idea,
Yeah.
but like surprise me with it.
Yeah.
Interesting. The
Yeah.
tie-dye one. That's a
Yeah.
neat idea.
Yeah. But good. You know what? Good for fucking old people doing whatever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm.
You've earned it by that time.
Oh, 100%.
You're 60, 70 years old. You've probably
seen multiple
worked your
wars.
whole life. You've seen wars.
Been in
shit.
them. Yeah.
Right. Like, off you go, man. Fuck who you want. Let people watch or pee on you or whatever.
Yep. Take the diaper off and just
Or don't
have a pee.
Yeah. Just pull it to the side. You know, whatever you need. Like,
pull the diaper to the side, Doris.
Have the guy chew through it for all. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Like, just have a great time. I think at that point you've paid your dues. Fuck all you want.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It really is.
Those are like imagining all that. Just
like someone chewing through a diaper.
Oh,
yeah. It's pretty gross. Quick side story, and then we'll jump onto something else. But I was remembering this is funny, it all ties together. The first time that Dan made the comment to me about wearing cologne was when I was at his diaper party. And were you there for that?
I was out of town.
Yeah,
I think that's weird. I think I was in Portland when that was happening.
I thought you were out of town. For those of you who don't know, a diaper party, which I did not know until my wife had to tell me, is when you just bring over, diapers for somebody who's expecting, and like they feed you and supply beer and stuff, and you bring over, boxes of diapers and shit. So whatever. I was under the impression it was, the rock and roll lifestyle diaper party where you just wear diapers, get super fucked up, and then if you have to piss or shit yourself,
you just do it right there.
Yeah,
you don't have to miss out on anything at the party.
Exactly. You do the Steve Martin, like, may I please go to the bathroom? And then 30 seconds later, you just say thanks, and you continue sitting there. But yeah, that was the first time was that diaper party. So I showed up prepared for that both ways, but I did bring a lot of diapers with me. But yeah, the other thing I was wondering was, in Florida, I also imagine a lot of older people don't drive.
I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't know if it's shitty traffic and
Florida
people are
specific, just because they're old as shit.
Oh,
I remember my grandma when she was like 72. Like we had to take her car away from her because she was no longer a safe driver.
Yeah, that definitely has happened. I mean, I imagine there's probably some that are still, like you said. I mean, obviously down in Florida they're driving cars because there's loofahs on them.
Yeah,
but yeah, you're right. I mean, just in general though, I think they typically don't really. I mean, they stop driving at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question was like, obviously, again, I would say obviously, not that I know, but if they're not taking like public transportation to get around or shuttles that take them out for whatever the day trips are, then I would imagine they're taking Ubers like everybody else.
Yeah. Because cabs really aren't.
Do you think they hang their fucking loofah? Or do they like shuffle out to their Uber with their loofah and they're like, hold on 1 second, Sonny, and just hang it on the fucking antenna, like, in case I'm seen being driven around town, I want people to know that I'd like to be plowed later.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because especially, I mean, think about this. If you're an Uber driver and you're picking up this old couple and an old lady comes out and she's like, is it okay if I hang my loofah here on the antenna? And you're like, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just
I
don't
want 5
forget
stars.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So exactly. You're going to want to please. And then that's not fucking hurting anybody. So it's like, who cares? Yeah, sure, Doris. Throw it on.
Yeah.
Just don't forget it when you...
Don't jump on my Doris, bro. Pick a different fucking name.
Grace.
Perfect.
All right, I'm going to go with Grace.
Yeah.
All right, Grace.
Yeah. Rosemary.
Yeah.
Ugh, I just picked all my great aunt's names. Gross. We're talking about loofah sex. Fuck. Sorry, B and Rosemary. Not that you're listening, but yeah. So that was my question.
Yeah, I think I mean, like I said, if I was an Uber driver, I definitely would. I'd be like, yeah, fine. Go ahead, throw it on. Yeah. And then they get out. I'm like, oh, Grace.
You forgot your purple loofah.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you want to watch.
Yep.
Thanks, Sonny.
Yeah.
Toss them a buffalo nickel or whatever the fuck old people tip with. I don't know.
Buffalo nickel.
I don't know.
When's the last time you took an Uber?
Oh, it's been a while for me. I am kind of control freaky. In fact, we were talking about Ubers that same night that you and I and Dan were out. Because for me in Avon Lake to come out here, it's like $30 for one way. And then that's not including tipping them. And then I also would have to take an Uber home. So I told you my problem with it is that if I'm spending $75 on Ubers to come out here just to drink, I better be drinking $200 for the night to feel like I got my money's worth. So,
right.
Like me taking an Uber is far less safe than me moderately drunk driving.
Yeah.
Because if I Uber out here and then Uber home, In between those, I am gonna get fucking wrecked.
Like, fuck it, I'm not driving.
Yeah, like I will beat up this bar, like the physical location. I will beat that up before I leave. So it's gonna be trouble. I'll end up in jail.
Yeah, and at least like I can just have like one or two and then head back home.
Right.
I get it. Yeah, I was just because you mentioned the Uber thing, and it made me think of like, my buddy. This is pretty wild, and this is actually before Ubers. Back when like cabs, he was just telling me the story. We have a mutual friend, and it was like before Ubers. He was downtown. They were both downtown drinking, and they got split up at some point. But the mutual friend, he was wandering around, so I think kind of like the East 4th area, and kind of looking around, waiting for a cab, and one kind of pulls up like right where he's at, and he's like, hey, he's like, if you need a ride, we can take you. He's like, but also it's like a joined Uber or cab. He's like, so we got to make a stop, drop them off, and then we can drop you off of yours. And he's already like pretty hammered, so he's like, fuck it, I don't care, that's fine.
Is this legit? Do you know? Like, is that a real thing that happens? Like, Ubers will pick up other people and do shared rides?
Yes, so you can in Uber. Yeah, you do have that option. Like,
I didn't know that.
You can do a shared ride. Whether like if you and I, and let's say that you live 5 minutes away from me, we can get in one and do a shared, and then he'll drop one of us off, and then he'll drop you off after. Drop the other person off. So yeah, that is a thing. And you got to think though, like that's kind of like a planned thing for Uber and cabs. You have to call 555 taxi to call for the cab, and then you have to be like, well, it's gonna be one stop at this house and then another stop at this house. But so yeah, the cab stops by and is like, we can, because I think he hailed him down, and then they're like, I could drop you off, but I got to drop these people off first, right?
Yep.
So he gets in the car, and a few minutes goes by, and so there's a driver, there's a woman sitting in the front seat, and there's a dude sitting next to him. And my immediate thought was like, oh, I wonder if this is actually like this is like a pimp, and like and the whore, sitting up front. So, but he starts going on, but apparently, the woman in the front seat turns around, pointing a gun at him.
This is a real story.
This is a real story.
Okay.
And so he points a gun at him, and he's like, what the fuck? And the girl basically said some cool line like, you chose the wrong cab tonight. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then he's like, listen, he's like, I only have a little bit of money.
To be your last Uber, motherfucker.
Right. And so he's basically like here's my wallet. He's like, we can stop somewhere. And they're like, shut the fuck up. So they take him to this house, and they have him sitting like, I don't know, it's like in the living room on the couch, right? And he's still trying to, he's like, listen, he's like, I don't have much money. I'm fucking like 25. He's like, but I'll give you whatever I have. And they're like, we don't want your money. We have other plans for you.
That is fucking terrifying.
Right. And so he said, apparently the house is just a fucking trap house. Like there's a mattress in the corner, with nothing on it. It's just disgusting house. Apparently, so the dude that was in the back seat with them originally is now waving this gun around in his face and shoving it in his mouth, like fucking
Holy
with this.
shit.
Our friend. He's like, fucking, like, open your fucking mouth, and shoving the gun in there, And of course, you'd think you'd be fucking like shitting your pants at that point. But they do end up, in fact, make him strip down, take off all of his clothes except for his like underwear, and then still kind of fucking around with them. Apparently, at some point, a prostitute shows up. And the guy that was driving the cab just starts fucking the prostitute on the mattress in front of everybody.
What?
I don't remember what color loofah that was.
Right.
I already got rid of the.
That's okay.
I don't remember what that was.
Yeah.
So basically, he's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, he's like waiting for Ashton Kutcher to pop out.
Right.
Like, this is the most fucked up episode of Punk'd ever.
Yeah, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, right.
So he's sitting there freaking out. The guy's waving the gun around. They're waiting on something. The driver's banging some fat hooker like in the fucking on a raw ass mattress, and he's like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do?" So what he ended up like, he was fucking waiting, and apparently the girl and the dude waving the gun, they fucking go in the other room and start doing drugs and shit. So everyone's distracted. He fucking got up and darted out the door. He found his moment and fucking took off.
Wow.
So it's also in the middle of winter, a foot of snow. So he's in he's only got his underwear, trenching through fucking a foot of snow. Apparently he got a few houses down and realized the highway is behind the houses that they're at. So he jumps a fucking few fences, runs up on the highway, and basically stops like a fucking 16-wheeler.
Yeah.
And runs over to the driver's side. The driver, of course, pulls out a fucking shotgun. What the fuck are you doing?
What drugs are you on?
Yeah,
half naked
in the wintertime.
Right.
And he's basically pleading. He's like, they're going to fucking kill me. I need to go to a police station. Please, please, please.
Wow.
The driver lets him in and kind of tells him what's going on, takes him to the police station. So he's now in the police station in his underwear, telling the story what's going on. And of course, they're like, what the fuck are you? What is this?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, like you have to. And they go, fine. We're going to take you back to the house, though, and you have to identify them. I'm like, what the?
Right.
That's the shit that happens in the movies, in horror movies. Just come back with us, identify them. Then the police gets killed, and then you're stuck in the backseat of a car.
Or you find out the police officer that was taking the fucking report is the ringleader of the sex operation.
Yes.
He starts banging you.
Yeah.
You did this in the wrong town, boy.
Right.
Like, yeah.
So the cop takes him back, and apparently when they knocked on the door, the guy with the gun and the girl have fucked off. They probably already they knew better.
Yeah.
So apparently the driver is still banging around with the hooker or whatever. And they basically yanked them both out, bent them over the hood of the car and yelling to our buddy, are these the fucking people? And the guy's like, gosh, I don't want to fucking do this. And he's like, yeah, he was the one driving the cab. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And so they fucking arrested them. And then they took our buddy back to his house. Now, the buddy I was talking about at the beginning, that this dude is our mutual friend, he slept over his house that night. So when he lost him, he's like, I don't know, maybe he went home, so he went back to his house.
Holy shit.
And then he finally shows up in the middle of the night. It's maybe 5 in the morning or something like that. And he's like, where the fuck were you?
Yeah. And
he walks in his underwear, right? He's like, I don't want to fucking talk about it. I just want to go to bed. So they go to sleep, right? My buddy wakes up, and then he goes and he kicks the door open. He's like, dude, what the fuck? You fucking left us downtown.
Yeah.
You show up in your underwear. What the fuck? So he tells him the entire story. And my buddy's like, no.
Bullshit.
No, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. You took PCP, and this is bullshit.
Yeah. You're fucking just coming down off of bath salts.
Exactly. You liar.
Yeah. You're jerking off fighting 10 cops. That's more believable than what you told me.
More believable.
But then apparently a detective showed up within a half hour, knocking on the door, wanting to discuss the night before. And turns out, and then our buddy, he said he doesn't want anything to do with anything. He doesn't want to go to court. He doesn't want to see the people again. He doesn't want to point them out.
Wow.
And I don't know if he's freaked out on them finding out who he is, where he lives, and then killing his family.
Yeah.
Or it's. But that's fucking insane.
That is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Was this was this actually an Uber?
No, it was a cab.
Oh, okay.
This is before Uber. So when did Uber start?
Early 2000s?
I don't think it was that far in. But I don't know. This is right before Uber, or when Uber was just getting started, but not everybody was using them.
That's fucking nuts.
But yeah, he basically was walking off of East 4th, walking down the street, hailing down cabs, and that fucking one shows up and goes, let's fucking take this guy.
Yeah. I was going to say I've had something similar happen, but I don't mean by the sexual assault and the guns and the police and stuff. Mm-hmm. But while waiting for an Uber outside of a baseball game, I've had cars pull up that have the Lyft light or the Uber light on their dashboard.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, hey, you waiting for a ride? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, you can just hop in. And if you want to pay cash, I can just take it right now.
I've seen those. I've come across those before.
I'm like, cool, dude. I'm not trying to get anally raped this evening.
Yeah.
You should take that down the street, kiddo, because I'm not falling for that shit again.
Yeah. Again.
So, yeah. Fool
me once. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that is fucking nuts, though. And
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and incredibly crazy is that they brought that person back to the house and had him identify them right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was the lawyer for the people that were in the house, I could get them off of that in 10 fucking seconds. You've been through the most traumatic thing in your whole life.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, oh, well, we brought you back to this house and we just pulled 2 people out of it. Were these the people?
Yeah.
And you would be like, fuck, like averting your eyes, and you'd be like, yeah, that's them. The people in that house are the ones that did it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be like I would just bring up 5 pictures of people that look like that person and be like, who the fuck do you think it was then?
I mean, you know what thing? They do that in movies also. They're like, here's 6 people. Do any of these
like
fucking...
like a lineup.
Yeah.
Like, but that would be, I mean, that would make more sense if they were like, is this the house? Then they arrest those people. Then they take them to the police station and they say, okay, here's a lineup, pick them out. But when you take somebody and you bring them out in handcuffs, they already inherently look guilty.
Yeah.
And they're coming out of the house where you were just almost sodomized and or murdered.
Or sold.
Right. Or sold into sex trafficking forever. Yeah, so you're going to see people come out of there in handcuffs and be like, yeah, those are the fucking bad guys. That's you got them. That's them from that house. Like, wow. That is crazy.
Yeah. It's nuts, right? Do you have anything like, I mean, I'm not saying that crazy, but do you have any like shitty...
Oh, I have a terrible Uber story, but it's not...
Because I also have like a shitty Uber driver experience, but I want, like, if you have one, I want you to go first, then I'll jump into that.
But it's not, okay, it's not in the same fucking realm of
Well,
that.
Mine's not either.
Okay,
Maybe I shouldn't have let off with that.
That was a big one to start with, buddy. Yeah, we
fucked up. Yeah,
we went top notch right off the get go, but that's okay. I mean, I've had a lot of great experiences with Uber because I didn't have a car for a long time. So I used to take Ubers all the time, especially when I worked downtown. Even when I had a car, I just didn't want to deal with parking and traffic and shit like that. And it was like $6 when I lived on 54th.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cheaper than parking anyway. So it was awesome. But I do remember when I was working downtown, managing that steakhouse, and I worked New Year's Eve. So I got out of work at like 3:30 in the morning, and I had to be back at 10 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Yikes.
Because working in restaurants fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And so, little secret for all of you who don't work in restaurants, I was drinking while I was working. It was fucking New Year's. So Jen came up. We had I opened up a nice bottle of champagne. We had 2 glasses of champagne each. Then she left to go hang out with her friends and do normal New Year's Eve stuff. I had to stay and close. I had a few drinks while I was closing. I went home. I'm wired. I'm in at work all day. So I had a few more drinks. I woke up, took a shower, called an Uber. So this Uber comes, and I'm like going outside to meet it, and it's like slow rolling by my house, like at 10 miles an hour, but never stops. It just keeps going. And I'm like waving at the dude, and he just keeps going. And now I'm like jogging behind the Uber and like waving both of my arms, like, what the fuck? And he just keeps going. And mind you, it's New Year's Day, so it's shitty outside. It's freezing. So he stops at the corner of Detroit, and I catch up to him, and I'm like out of breath and annoyed and hungover. And I start tapping on the window, and he like just rolls down the window like 2 inches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, dummy, I'm your fucking fare. Like, I'm your passenger. You passed it and kept going. What's with the 2-inch window thing? Unlock the door. Like, I'm the guy. You're the Uber, and I'm the fucking customer. And he's like, all right, man, my apologies. It was an old black guy, which doesn't matter, but that's what he was. And so whatever. So I get in the car. It's normal. We're not talking. He's doing his thing. But he gets off on like a weird exit, and then he's like taking a wrong way to get to where I'm going. And so I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, you shouldn't have gone off on this exit. And then we hit a little bit of traffic, and I'm like, because I know that's not what Uber's telling him to do. He's just like, I know better. And then I'm like, dude, you got to make this turn. And he doesn't, and he misses it. And we get to the next street. And I'm like, just give me the corner right there. And so he like whips the car right around the corner, slams the brakes, and mean mugs me. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, we can just end the ride right here. And so I get out. I'm like a block and a half away from the restaurant. And I slam the door shut, and I start walking up the sidewalk. And then I hear his door slam shut. And I'm like, oh, shit, and turn around. This dude got out of his car.
Oh, fuck.
And he's like, listen to me, motherfucker. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, are we doing this right now? And he's like, you're lucky I don't punch your fucking lights out, you motherfucker. And I'm like, do it. I'm like, dude, I would love to be a majority shareholder of Uber. Go ahead. Fucking punch me in the mouth for you taking me the wrong way, asshole. And he comes up, I mean, like inches away from my face, and like he's like ready to swing on me. And I'm just standing there like, please go ahead and do it. I love this. And he doesn't, and he backs off, and he's like, fuck you. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I just walk away, and I'm like, this is fine. I go to work. I'm normal, doing my thing. I'm in the office. somebody comes in, like one of the hostesses comes in, and they're like, there's a really angry black guy in the lobby who wants to talk to your boss. Because he knows where my destination was.
Right. So he's fucking pissed.
He's
thinking
pissed.
about it the entire time after you guys split. He got back in the car.
Yep.
And he's like, that motherfucker.
He's like, fuck that guy. And he was in the lobby, motherfucking me. Get your motherfucking ass out here. Fuck that guy.
Real
that
professional.
Guy. Yeah. And so I'm like, ugh, this would be my day. And it just so happens that my boss, Patrick, walks in, and he's like, what's with this dude fucking yelling? And I'm like, I already called security. They're all already on the way. And my boss, Patrick, he's like, why does he want you to die today?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he is just pissed off about this Uber. I don't know. And Patrick tells me, he's screaming that you're wasted, and that you were in the car, and that you were wasted, and that you were saying like racial slurs.
Well, of course.
And I'm like, well, that's not true. And he's like, the wasted part or the racial slurs? And I'm like, well, certainly not the racial slurs, sir. I wasn't doing that at all. And he's like, are you drunk? I'm like, no. I drank until 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's 10 a.m.
Yeah.
It's 6 hours to sober up.
Yeah.
So fine, I smell like booze. And he's like, you do smell like booze. And I'm like, you made me work until 4 o'clock in the fucking morning and make me come back at 10 on
This is your fault.
This is your fucking fault.
You made me fucking cloping?
Yeah, you go handle that shit. And he's like, actually, I don't think we either need to. And then security showed up. These two, Brian and Charles, these two massive black dudes show up and just like lifted him up and carried him out. But I thought for sure he was going to swing on me. And it's the most recent time I thought somebody was actually going to hit me. But I was just like, I don't know if it's because I was still a little bit drunk from the night before.
Saucy.
But I was like, man, if this dude hits me, I'm going to sue Uber's tits off and make so much fucking money. Like,
damn, that sucks.
if Uber was going to lose their customer base for everybody who was drunk, they don't have
wouldn't even exist.
What's the business plan? Like, why do we require you?
That's why I fucking called you.
Exactly. If I was sober, I would drive. Like, it kind of fucks with the whole Uber business plan. But that was the craziest one I had. Other than that, I've had mostly pretty pleasant experiences.
I mean, that's still pretty wild.
What about you? You said you got something?
Yeah. So, and again, I also, you know what, real quick, before I start the story, by the way, this, what are these called?
So we're drinking. So anyway, you guys don't know this, but we're recording. This is on a Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. It's like noon right now. And so we're doing we made a breakfast cocktail. It's a mix between a mimosa and a French 75. So this is like Prosecco, orange juice, simple syrup, and gin.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
it's delicious.
It's so fucking good,
can
man.
You top me off, please? Yeah. I'm gonna reach over here for you.
You know I can.
Yeah, this is fucking delicious. Yeah, so basically, guys, we made a whole pitcher and brought it to the room here with us so we can top off as we go.
I mean, we're also doing shots, because we're grown-ups.
Well, yeah,
but
we have to.
Yeah, you didn't want to start the day
show
off just with fucking straight bullet. That's too much at 11 o'clock in the morning when we started. So
right.
So this breakfast cocktail, but this thing is great.
It's delicious.
It's great.
And you said, did you make the simple syrup yourself?
Yeah, it's just fucking sugar water.
Yeah, but still delicious.
Thanks.
You did the right portions.
Fucking A right.
Okay, so I also have typically had great Uber rides.
Uh-huh.
There is one that sticks out to me specifically, and when I've told this story previously to our friends, they're like, they fucking love it. And they're like, you got to fucking talk about this on the show. So this is what we're doing. Real quick, let's do our cheers.
Cheers.
Salud. Good morning.
Good morning. And go Browns.
So me and a bunch of friends went to New Orleans. It was for my birthday and a buddy's birthday. We're a couple days apart. And we're going out all night and drinking all day, right? And the other buddy whose birthday, he got super drunk.
Sure.
Way too early. And speaking of Ubers, he actually was like, I gotta go. Mm-hmm. And so we're like, all right, call an Uber. So he pulls it up, and then he goes outside. And I'm like, I should
monitor this.
Yeah. And I go out there, and he's standing in the street waving his phone to literally every single car that's passing by. Like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm just trying to get
I'm going to signal my Uber.
Yeah, so they know where I'm at. I'm like, idiot. They know. They have an app for that. And I go, let me see the phone. It'll show you how what the distance is. And like, I don't remember what the time was, but he put in his home destination here.
Oh my God.
And I go, hey, dickface.
Yeah.
You realize we're not in Cleveland.
Yeah.
We're in New Orleans.
This person, he had an Uber on the way.
Well, I don't think he even like
give him a fucking $2,800 ride back to Cleveland.
I don't think it was actually completed because I don't think it was probably like searching for driver.
I bet.
But like, and he's just that wasted. He's like, I'm gonna go outside and wave him down.
Yeah.
So, and then he's just literally shaking his phone at every car passing by. I'm like, you fucking idiot. So then I had to fucking punch it in our Airbnb.
Yeah.
Which is also funny. A little bit time passes and we're a little worried. But like, we haven't heard from him. You think he's all right? And Toomey calls him, and I hear Toomey screaming, and like, fucking idiot, blah blah blah, R word, blah blah blah.
Of course.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, I've been trying to tell this dingling that like what the code is to get into our door, and it like the code is like the buttons are like it's like 0 1 and there's like 2 and 3, 4 and 5, right? So and he's like I'm not fucking. I go, give me the phone. And he's like, the code is like I don't remember what it is. Like it's
1359.
Sure, 1359.
Yeah.
So I'm like, give me the phone. And I'm like, are you not able to get in? He's like, no. And I go, okay. I was like, you see the button that says
01?
01? He's like, yep. And I go, okay. And you see the one that says 23? He goes, yep. And I go, well, what'd you say? 1359?
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you see the one that says 56?
Yeah.
He's like, yep. I'm like, you see the one that says 89? He's like, yep. And he's like, I'm in. I go,
I was like, oh, dude, how'd you do that?
yeah. And of course, I'm like, dude, you fucking idiot. I'm like,
You're
you
like
gotta,
a safe cracker.
yeah. I'm like, you have to fucking talk to him like he's a child. Like he's in a child mind right now. He's fucking hammered.
You know what he was probably doing? He was probably pushing the buttons in succession. Like, all right, so it's 1. So he hit the 01 button. He's like 01 and hits it twice.
Oh yeah, like the old texting.
Right, exactly. So he's like, oh, and then for 3, he's like, so it's the 2 3 button. So 2 3, and then
it starts
twice.
beeping right at him.
Bam,
like,
bam, bam, right.
yeah, probably.
That's amazing.
So there's now 4 of us left, and we stay out drinking for forever. Crump was there. I think it was Garrison and also Timmy. And
Garrison was not the drunken idiot in this story?
No, and here's the fucking wild part.
Good for you, Garrison.
We were all like, Garrison is going to be the most wasted.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to babysit him the entire trip.
Yeah.
He was a little sweet little baby angel.
No shit.
He was definitely not the drunkest on any night out of all of them.
Wow.
He was a pretty good Garrison. So we're done for the night, and Crump's like, I'll order an Uber. So he orders the Uber. Crump sits front seat. Toomey goes in like the one side of the door, and Garrison's like, I'm not sitting, bitch. So I got stuck sitting like backseat middle. So before I even got my ass to the seat, the lady goes, she's like, don't fucking be slamming my door. White people always be slamming my door.
Oh, Jesus
and I'm like, what? I was like, what the hell just happened? I was like, did you guys slam doors? And they're like, no. And we're like, okay, so she just hates white people?
Yeah.
Older black lady.
Sure.
Not that it matters,
but she was.
So then I get in backseat middle, and she's got this tiny little car, and I'm squished between Toomey and Gare.
Yeah.
And I kind of have like my feet up kind of on the the center console, thing. And mid-driving, she just turns on. By the way, she doesn't say like a fucking word, and then she turns around, she's like, get your motherfucking feet off my car. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, I don't have any fucking room back here, dude. Yeah, I'm like, white people, am I right? So then we finally, and then she just starts being a bitch the whole time. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, we didn't do anything.
Right.
And our Airbnb was across the street from this like nightclub. Mm-hmm. And we finally, and I'm like, I'm not getting kind of pissed because I'm already super drunk. I'm like, what the fuck are you yelling at us for? And so we get to the Airbnb. I get out of the car and I full on slam the fuck out of that door.
Course.
And she's like, what the fuck did I just say about slamming my motherfucking door? And I go, I didn't slam it. It was like kind of stuck, so I had to like push it a little bit harder. Yeah. She's like, no, the fuck you didn't. And I was like,
you slammed it though, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I was pissed. Yeah. I'm like,
I'd have taken the high road and just left the door wide open.
Oh yeah.
I opened the door and just walked out. Like, fuck you then.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna close my door. I don't want to slam it, bitch.
Yeah. You get out and do
the
it.
Jeffersons walk away.
Yeah.
To my Airbnb.
And then, so I was like, I didn't. I was like, it was kind of like stuck. And I had to push it. And she's like, no, the fuck you didn't. And of course, like, then the guys are coming back to the car and they're like, he didn't slam it. Like, it's just, I don't know. You have an old ass car. Like, it's rusty as shit. And she's like, you look out and go across the street and get one of my brothers to come over and kick your ass. And I'm like,
when you say brothers, is that did you go that
yeah,
route?
that's what I did. I'm like, I have a lot of black friends. I'm like, is she saying brother? Like, yo, those are my brothers, or is like your actual brothers over there hanging out?
To this person?
And I'm like, either way, I don't feel like getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, it's not a great question.
So we basically are just like, listen, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
And then we fucked off.
Of course.
Crump did try to write a review because she was being fucking racist like the whole time.
Sure.
They didn't do anything about it.
No shit.
Nothing. Yep.
I contacted Uber after my thing with that guy, and they told me they would look into it, and they refunded me $5.
I think he also got like a $5.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They were like, we refunded $5 into your, and it wasn't even cash. It was like, we put that into your Uber credits. Are you satisfied with our response? And I was like, I was such an asshole. I'm surprised they didn't cancel my Uber subscription account after that. I was like, fuck you for $5. I almost got physically costed. I could have PTSD from what happened. I went off the fucking handle. But yeah, $5 fucking, and not even cash. Like, here's $5 towards your next ride. Like, I'm really excited for my next time that I almost get interracially assaulted.
Yeah, man.
On my way to work.
You got to be careful out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the most part, like, people are pretty good.
Yeah.
But people also, the shitty people, like, see this as an opportunity for trafficking.
It was funny, speaking of Garrison, and when we were in New Orleans, I remember he told me, I think this was when we were in one of our, like, the connecting airport when we were on our way home, and we were all, besides Jen, we were all sitting there, violently shaking because we'd had nothing but alcohol for the last 5 days.
Yeah.
And, of course, Garrison had nothing but broth. That's all he had eaten the whole time. But he did mention, he's like, this trip was so expensive. And not like Garrison bought some stuff, and that's fine. I paid for a lot of it only because the night before we were leaving, I hit for $1,100 on Keno.
Sick.
And got it in cash. So I just paid cash everywhere we went. It was 5 shots of Jameson because there were 5 of us, and it was just cash the whole time. But he was like, man, I spent so much money. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, we all split the Airbnb, and I bought most of the tabs. What are you talking about? He's like, fucking Uber. And I'm like, how much could you have spent on Uber more than the rest of us? It was because he kept on ordering rides, seeing that they were like 5 minutes away.
Oh, yeah.
And then he would cancel them because he thought he could get a sooner one. And
they charge you $5.
They charge you $5 for all of them.
Yeah.
He did that like 22 times in like an hour. He just kept on ordering and canceling. He stood outside for like 45 minutes.
So what's
like,
that? It's like $120 bucks.
Yeah,
or
$110
bucks.
he spent, and he just never got a ride because he was just like, this is
Idiot.
bullshit. What the fuck? 6 minutes? Where do I live in? Pakistan? This is outrageous. And I'm like, you fucking dummy. Yeah, that was a ill-advised trip.
Yeah.
Fun, but dumb.
New Orleans is a fun time.
It is. You got to go with people that are somewhat like marginally responsible, though.
Yeah, which we, like I said, I have my doubts about Garrett. He did a great job. Our other buddy who had the same, like, the birthday were a couple days apart, he was actually the most drunk, like, every single night.
We all took turns, except Jen. Jen was like the den mother the whole time. I mean, she was drinking, she was having fun, but we were the ones, this was the time that we were on the airplane and Wildo pushed the attendant button to tell the pilot to step on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On the way there, like, that's how drunk. We hadn't even landed in New Orleans yet. He's like, how long are we going to be in this fucking cloud? And I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'll have a Johnny Walker, and I'll get him to shut the fuck up. And she's like, that'd be great. Yeah. That was the start of our trip.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you the start of, Crump and I went separately, but Garrett, Toomey, and our buddy, they went together, and our buddy also got so fucking wasted, and he was working for a radio show, and he made sure, because their plane was delayed, and he went up to the counter to ask him, like, where the fuck's our plane at? And then he did one of the, do you know who I am?
Nice.
Do you know who I work for? Which is a douchey fucking thing.
Douche thing.
Oh, and then they go, no. And they go, wow, that's great.
Right.
The plane will arrive when it arrives.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter your status, asshole.
Yeah, and so basically Toomey and Garrett had to put on like a pair of headphones and sit them the fuck down, like don't fucking move, like a child.
Yeah.
Like an out of control
They had
child.
a weekend at Bernie's him real quick.
Yeah. And so basically the plane finally shows up and they all start going through, and there goes Toomey, here comes Garrett, and then our buddy comes through and he gets mom armed.
Of course.
And they're like, what's going on? And they're like, you're too drunk, you can't get on the plane.
Yep.
And he's like, what are you talking about? Which he was. I was told that he was pretty drunk. I mean, obviously, you're not going to do shit like that. You go, you're too fucking drunk. Sorry, you're not on the flight.
Yep.
So he basically had to call his girlfriend to pick him up.
Oh, my God.
And then he had to pay another like $200 to catch a flight the next day to meet us all out there.
That is so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, my God.
And as I said, that we thought Garrison was going to be the drunkest one.
Right.
Those two got into a whole fucking argument about it. Yeah, right. I'll fucking outdrink you. Yeah, right. I'll fucking outdrink you.
God.
And they're both skinny little dudes, right? I think, what's Garrison, like 130, something like that?
131.8 last I talked to him about a week and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're like at that same weight status.
Yeah.
And we were at some bar and they're arguing who was going to last longer. And Garrison's like, fuck you. I will definitely outdrink you.
Good.
And our buddy's like, fine. He's like, if I outdrink you, you owe me $200 to pay for my flight that I fucked up
to make up for the fucking the cost of being too drunk the day before. He's gonna have a drinking contest.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then Garrison goes, fine.
I love this.
He goes, if I outdrink you, it's basically for the day. Bars don't close until 4 a.m. And they're like, who can stay up till 4? And Gary goes, fine. If I outdrink you and stay up till 4, I want your fucking left testicle.
Holy shit.
He fucking raised that bar. And he's like, I want your left testicle. He's like, I'm not kidding either. And we're already half in the bag, so we're like dying, laughing. This is amazing. And he's like,
this is really scary.
Yeah, he's like, do you fucking want to do this or no? And our buddy's like, yes. And like, all right. So they fucking shook hands.
Oh my God.
We went out drinking. We were still continuing all day. And I mean, I guess I already kind of spoiled that Gary was a good boy the whole time. But long story short, our buddy's the one that fucking went back to the house and passed out at 11.
And he only has one
10
ball now.
And so we were laughing the entire night. We're like, dude, you fucking did it.
Yeah.
And for the next morning, of course, then there's the whole argument because no one's actually going to give up their left testicle.
Correct.
So there's literally that morning of, they're just fucking arguing. He's like, fuck you. He's like, you're going to give me your left testicle. And he's like, I'm not going to fucking do that. That's ridiculous. He's like, you fucking agreed to it. He's like, that, yeah, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, then why did you agree to it?
Yeah.
And basically the whole, while we're just all dying laughing, also sipping beers, watching, it's like our own soap opera.
Of course.
But yeah, long story short, I think he ended up just like giving him like money for losing the bet or whatever. I know it wasn't that great of an ending there, but
I think I would have gone a little farther with it because I mean, in New Orleans, how hard can it be to find like a Halloween-y type of store and get those like capsules that you can bite into that make it look like you have blood in your mouth or whatever?
Oh yeah,
I probably would have bit into those and just dripped them on that dude's sheets while he was sleeping, and then like wake him up with like Garrison with like blood on his mouth and a scalpel. Be like, that's right, bitch. You lost that bet last night, and he'll be like, like looking for his ball.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, I would have gone hard. Yeah.
How are we doing on time?
We are we are almost exactly at an hour.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, it seems like we're getting a little better at this, huh?
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're trying to keep them to an hour.
Yeah.
Because it's normal.
Yeah, I mean, we had to figure it out.
Yeah,
we're doing the hour and a half.
We got real excited in the beginning because it's always so fun, and it was so new and fun to talk to each other. I'm not that it's not fun now; it's super fun. But yeah, I think we're kind of getting into our niche here.
Yeah,
I'm loving the idea for people to call and text in. So keep in mind, you can call. Do we have a voicemail? Can they leave a message?
Yeah. So yeah,
Holy
if you do decide to call us. You could call that number as well. It's the Pizza Bagel hotline.
Answer.
Yeah. I'm not going to answer it.
Right.
But like you can call and leave a message.
Yeah.
And then we'll listen to it, and then we'll talk about it. That next episode.
Yeah. Or text us. About whatever. Tell us a great Uber story.
Oh yeah.
Tell us what color your fucking loofah would be.
Yeah, or let's see. We want answers for the poll.
For the poll, for sure.
Is it homosexual or wear
or douchey or
weird to fucking?
Is it weird that I put on cologne even if I'm going to be at the house by myself all day just because I like to smell fancy?
Right.
Is fancy a gay word now?
I don't think so.
I just like to smell good.
Listen, who doesn't?
Dan.
Yeah. Well,
so that was what his argument was. Real quick before we get out of here, that was his argument was he was like, it's not that I'm trying. He's like, I don't want to smell bad, but I'm just trying to not smell at all.
I mean, that's what deodorant's for, or taking a shower.
Right.
So fine.
Yeah.
You take a shower, you got deodorant. Great.
Yeah, but I also
you're just like everybody else.
I wear Old Spice deodorant because it smells good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to fucking smell good.
Sure.
And if that's gay, I don't want to be straight anymore. Sorry, Jen.
So yeah, guys, again, 440-363-0121.
Yeah, give us a text. We'll give a shout out. We will listen to your responses. Tell us your thoughts, especially if you're a hardcore I'm a cologne guy or a hardcore that's super douchey guy, or if you're a chick and you're like, you know what, I love a dude that smells delish like cologne, or cologne is for fucking 20-year-old douches.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I mean, I'm not wearing fucking Axe body spray.
And you're also not wearing it to go out to try to get pussy. You're just like, I just want to be a guy that's just known as smelling good.
Dude, when you're wearing Sauvage by Dior, you don't look for pussy. Pussy looks for you. Okay? That's what the commercial was supposed to be, but instead they got fucking Johnny Depp to do it. It'll be me next time.
Well, obviously.
Fucking A.
By this time, you're going to be their fucking spokesman.
That's right. Sauvage by Dior. All right. That's our time.
Yeah, so that's it. Shoot us a text, give us a call, leave us a voicemail, and we'll discuss it on the next episode.
Absolutely, and enjoy the play out for the greatest song of all time.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's see here.
It's our jam.
So long, folks.